Good evening, everybody. Sure disappointing to fall short again. You know, we've been to these elite programs and stadiums, and you know, our guys just battle. I'm so proud of them and just how hard they battle. And here we find ourselves again on the short end, and it's disappointing. And I don't know what else to say other than that. I'm so proud of the guys and how they fought and battled. I thought our defense played really well, particularly in the second half. You know, the first half, the touchdown that they bounced around the left side, their left, our right. We had enough people in the middle and guys just trying to make a play, and we had one guy that poked his nose in there and should have been out there and had leverage on the play, and he didn't. And their kid made a nice play, and then the second score, you know, they went forward on 4th and 1 on the punt fake, and we had our punt block team out there, but we actually had the guy tackled in the backfield, and he broke a tackle and made a good play. And then the next play they hit a long pass and got up 2 scores. It was a great job by Andre to jump over those guys and block that PAT. You know, that really could have been a big point in the game. In the second half, our defense shut them down. They basically held them to no points. It was, you know, get the ball on the 1 yard line and pop that last one in. That's not on the defense, certainly. But I'm proud of the offense in the second half. We blocked them better. We hit some passes. And made some plays right there to the end, the very last drive. I mean, the great play by Jabari Laws and the great play by A.J. Howard to make the catch, and then ran a boot play, and Tyre ran it in. And our guys just fought all the way to the end, and that's just the spirit of this team. And but you know, we're disappointed and we're hurt. When you care and you invest so much, it's going to hurt. But I'm really proud of these guys. They went toe to toe with a team that I think is really an outstanding team. Well coached, big, physical, and one of the most successful programs in the country over the last decade or more. So, you know, there's some good things we can take from it, but certainly we're going to see some things we're really disappointed in.
Charles, go ahead.
Good afternoon, Coach, or good evening, Coach. Tough game. But in the first half, it appeared that part of the defense strategy for Wisconsin was to have 2 guys, including their inside linebacker, fill the A gap and getting Tyre almost before he had a chance to get the play started. What did you do to adjust that hindrance going into the second half?
So they were popping the linebackers in there. We kept trying to correct that problem with our play calls and just in between series and talking about that. And I thought we had some good answers. But you know, they're good. I mean, they're good. One of those guys popping the gaps weighs 260 or something like that. He's a big dude, and we're trying to cut him off. And you know, we ran the trap play some away from the linebacker pop and try to spit him out of there. And you know, it turns into single blocks at the point of attack on the nose guard. You're trying to get a wash with the guard down on the nose guard, who's a really good player, and it's not easy. We had a lot of different answers. We had read plays where we were reading those 4 techniques. And we were reading the outside linebackers. We were running misdirection. We got some mileage with some misdirection, especially in the second half. And we hit some passes, and you know, they hold people to 41 point whatever yards a game before this one because they're really good. They're big and they're physical and they're well coached and they make a lot of plays, and so they were a stout group to go up against, and I thought our guys fought and battled, and we came up with some answers, but the answer is I guess pretty simple. There's no offense, and certainly not ours, that's going to work if you don't block them. And so you got, you know, they can pop linebackers, but you got to be able to spit them out of there.
Great. My follow-up question to that is, you know, I know you're not a moral victory kind of coach, But can you talk about the no-quit temperament and attitude of this team this evening, and can you take that same vibe into next week's game against Wake Forest?
Our team expected to win. You know, that the only people that are shocked are the guys in our locker room, shocked that they didn't win. Our guys expect to win the game. And that's just the way they roll. I mean, they have a great trust and in each other and a love for each other. They're committed, and they believe that when we play a football game that they're going to win. And I believe that too. I fully believe we were going to win. And so we're disappointed. Mm-hmm. But that's a great mentality to have as a team. And so sure, we got to carry that into next week. We got to carry that into every single game we play, because we're not so talented that we can just roll the balls out and people are going to go run for cover. We got to fight our butts off every week and play really, really well. And there's a lot of things we did tonight that we did really, really well. And there's some things we did that we're going to be disappointed about that we had control over. Didn't have anything to do with Wisconsin. We just didn't control the things that we can control, and that's where the greatest regrets will be.
Steve McGargy, go ahead.
Just what does it say about Tyler's tenacity that he was able? He's down on the ground there. He's only up for one play and then runs for 30-something, leads a touchdown drive right afterward.
That guy's a warrior. He's tough, and he just got the wind knocked out of him. And he had dealt the ball, and we got a gain and got the first down, I think, on that pitch. And I thought he had hurt his head or something like that. But I went out there and it just had the wind knocked out of him. And he's just really tough. I mean, he gets up and he's got a bloody lip, and he came out, he's limping a couple of times. Those guys get tackled a lot, hit a lot as quarterbacks in our offense. And he's just a really tough kid, a great leader and a great competitor. And I expect nothing less from that guy. He's just going to keep getting back up.
Ken Kreitzer, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, I'm just going to ask you about the fullbacks. The size of Wisconsin and the defensive line seemed to tie up the middle. I think there was just 29 yards. Was that disappointing? You couldn't get more productivity from your fullbacks?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we pride ourselves on being able to run the ball between the tackles with the B-backs and the quarterback, and we just weren't getting very much movement. We were doing a lot of different things. We had a lot of different read plays where we weren't blocking at times the defensive end. Times we weren't blocking the outside linebacker and reading him. We tried a lot of different things. We tried to trap them, try to double team them, but that's our offense. We got to get some push and get some runs out of those guys, and it was hard.
And how is it just managing having two quarterbacks in, putting Jabari in for passing situations? You've done that in the past a few times. How is that just to manage that alternating quarterbacks?
I think they handle it really well. I mean, they both have very similar skill sets, and Jabari did a nice job throwing passes today, and the last touchdown that Tyre scored, that was actually a pass play. So he rolled out to throw the ball and just saw it open up and he ran it in. They're both capable of doing that, but I'm so happy for Jabari to be able to get back in there and contribute, and he did a great job. He made a bunch of plays and right up there to the end. That was a great throw. That's a big time throw to AJ Howard down the sideline. AJ made a great play catching the ball, but it's good to see him back in there. That's a comeback kid right there.
Coach, how did it feel to get the touchdown at the end in less than 2 minutes and give yourself a chance with the onside kick to get back in the game?
Like I said, we never stopped believing we were going to win the game. Nobody on our sideline, they didn't flinch. They kept believing we were going to win the game. And I'm disappointed we didn't get the onside kick. And it would have been nice to get it back and see if we can make a couple more plays.
All right. Any others for Coach?
Jeff, Ken McMillan. The play where Laws was drilled and got the fumble, the play was reviewed by the officials. In your opinion, do you think it was a arm moving forward for an incomplete pass?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not paid to make those decisions. They make those decisions. What I know to be a forward pass, you got an open hand and the ball's moving forward, then it's a forward pass. That's the way I know the rule. Now, maybe they didn't feel like that was the case or didn't have enough video evidence or what it was, but I know those guys are getting paid to do a job and they try to do it the best they can. And I get paid to do a job and I try to do mine the best I can. I make mistakes, maybe they make mistakes, but the bottom line is they ruled it a fumble, and unfortunately they gave Wisconsin a 1-yard drive for essentially the game-winning touchdown.
All right. Any others?
I just wanted to quickly ask, you mentioned the environment you guys have played in. You've been in these before. What does playing in a stadium like this, an environment like this, do for you guys, going into the second half of the season?
I don't know. I don't know what it does for us. It was pretty exciting for the guys to be in a big stadium like that and an environment like Wisconsin. But, our seniors played at Michigan and our seniors played at Oklahoma, and they've been in these environments before. And it's why I think they come to play football here. We play a lot of Power 5 games, and so it's part of the appeal of our guys that want to come and play for America's team, which we consider ourselves. So we're going to play in a lot of big environments. We'll play the Army Navy game at the MetLife Stadium, and that'll be a huge crowd. It's different when you go on the road. There's I don't know how many people are there tonight. 70,000, 80,000 people. Most of them wearing red. One thing at the Army Navy game, half of them are wearing black and gold. So it's a little bit different, but our guys handled it. The crowd didn't make any difference to our guys. It didn't have one effect on our team, on the performance of our guys. That field out there is the exact same size as the one in West Point, New York at Mikey Stadium, and our practice field, House Field and Goldstein Field, we practice on every day, exact same size. Goalposts aren't any different. And I promise you, when the ball gets kicked off, everything else disappears. It's just that 100 yards of grass out there. And I think our guys showed that they'll go toe to toe with anybody, and they're not intimidated by anybody. I can assure you that. But you know what? The United States Army is not intimidated by anybody either. That's a bunch of future soldiers, and they're going to lead future soldiers, and they won't back down from anybody on the battlefield either. You can be sure of that.